Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newest eyeshadow palette from Tarte. It's part of their Rainforest of the Seas collection. It's called the High Tides and Good Vibes palette, or as I refer to it as, the Turtle palette. Reasons for that will become abundantly clear momentarily. So if you're interested in this palette and want to see how it performs, want to see how I got this eye look plus two others, then let's do this. So before we even get into the palette, I want to give you some information about it. It is just very recently launched and you can find it now both on the Tarte website as well as on the Sephora website. In Canada, it retails for $49 regardless of which retailer you go through. I'm going to go to the Sephora website and just give you some additional information about the product. So it is free of parabens, formaldehydes, phthalates, mineral oil, and triclosan. It's also cruelty-free and gluten-free. It says that it comes with 8 buttery, super blendable matte and luster shadows in a powder formula, and also it contains 4 high-impact gel glitter topper shades, which can be used alone or over shadows. The formulas are infused with antioxidant-rich marine plant extracts to help hydrate and soften lids. So that's about the extent of the information from the website that I can give to you. So let's take a look at this packaging. So here is the unit packaging, obviously, and even right from here, it's beautiful. And you can see ye old turtle down here, and it carries through to the inside. So let's take a look at the inside. I've got to say, first of all, this is a rather hefty palette. Like, it has a good amount of weight to it without being overly large. Like, the dimensions are not huge. Everybody kind of knows what the naked palettes look like, so it's about the same thickness. It is wider but shorter. So there's an idea for you. It does have this very nice hard plasticky case, beautiful aqua shade, and the front. So there's the turtle. That's why I call it the turtle palette. But more than that, the water in there kind of moves around. I'm not sure. I can't really tell if it's picking up on camera. It's so reflective, but I think you can see it. See the dark? And then you move it, and it moves around regardless of where you go. Not particularly practical, but kind of neat and very much different than anything I have seen on the market. So then you open it up. It just has like a little plastic overlay with their hashtag See the Change and another turtle. And it's going to reflect. I don't know how to fix so that the lights don't do this, but because it's metallic, it's going to bounce the lights back and change. So I'll probably just insert a picture, but there are the shadows in here. So in the palette, there are 12 shadows total. 1, 2, 3, 4 are mattes, 4 are more of a satiny sort of shimmery shadow, and then you have the 4 glitters running down the middle of it. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and swatch it. I'm going to insert a picture so that you can see what the shadows are. With regard to how these shadows swatch, I can say that the shimmer shadows swatch beautifully. They are just one swipe down, didn't have to smooth them out, didn't have to build them up. With the mattes, I did have to smooth them out a little bit simply because of the way that they swatch. I'm not particularly shocked by that because that's been my experience regardless of the brand. Shimmer shadows just have a little bit more of an emollient base to them, and I find that that helps them to apply smoother, especially in swatches. The glitters are housed in some sort of gel-like substance, so they aren't just dry glitters sitting there or pressed in there. They are in a base. However, when I apply them, and you'll see this as we go through the video, I do still use a glitter glue to lock them all into place. When I applied them, I didn't really experience any issues with them, but I wouldn't trust them over the course of the day, regardless of the fact that they are in this sort of sticky-ish base to begin with. So how I'm going to do this then is I'm going to show you the 3 looks that I did, and then I'm going to jump back in and give you my final thoughts on the palette. So here we go.
I once felt I'm done with the defense. Drove back and climbed over your fence. Had to show you that I was a mess. So you were shrugging your shoulders and closed off. That's what I told you. Soon enough, everything started to change. 'Cause there's no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying heights. Riding on the dizzying heights. Felt like nothing could stop us. Sunsets, remember the colors. They were wrong, it was way more than a dream. We climbed up, yeah, over the hillside. So right, we stood there all wide-eyed. You and I floated on air in my mind. 'Cause there's no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. You make everything so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're climbing way up together, standing on dizzying heights. You make everything so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're climbing way up together, standing on dizzying heights. There's no going back, no going back. There's no going back to your old life. Not living in the past, we're over that. I'm feeling it tonight, riding on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. I'm standing on the dizzying heights. Standing on the dizzying heights. Everything's so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're climbing way up together, standing on dizzying heights. You make everything so much better. Riding high on your river, you and I, we're climbing way up together, standing on the dizzying heights. What you did was meaningless. What's the point of your coldness? I cannot sleep with your eyes on me, they burning. So that you know me in and out. Need you to push back all those sprouts of insecurity. I won't have it to emphasize that. If only I could find myself inside of this ghostly mind where you stay so seamlessly in fade here within my maze. You are my Loch Ness. People have heard of you, but no one knows you. You hide the darkest secrets that I've got. We're hiding out in the deep. We're hiding out in the deep. No, it ain't a broken trust. Your heart is whole for the both of us. There's no time to be wasting now. Let's get away. I think we have done it all. She knows me in and out, love of a different kind, but we still have no control. 'Cause when the daylight comes, we're just good friends, baby, good friends, hanging on. When the daylight comes, we're just good friends, but like lovers on the weekend. On the weekend.
So overall, I have to say that I really do like this palette. I first of all commend Tarte for trying something different. Yes, there are still neutrals in there. This is an even mix of neutral with pops of blue, and then the nice addition of the pink and the silver glitters there as well. So it's not exactly the most avant-garde thing that they could have come out with, but having said that, I really do like this palette. I like the color story that's in there. I really like how it performs. That's not to say that it was performing perfectly. So, going through the top, so the first look was the blue sort of halo eye with the gold glitter in the center. I really didn't experience any issues with that. The two dark blues, despite being more shimmery based, they were blendable. I did have to take my time with it, and even with this look as well, putting that blue and blending it into the crease and creating this sort of slight wing shape with it, it did take some work. I had to use two brushes to do that, but it wasn't impossible and it wasn't an overly frustrating exercise. It's just that you have to work at the blending, so it's not just going to be a wham bam, thank you ma'am kind of palette to work with. The mattes, on the other hand, are just phenomenal. And I mean, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I am particularly critical of Tarte. In my defense, they tend to lend themselves to that. However, I have consistently said that I do actually like their shadow formula. I just don't like the colors that they opt to put into palettes. So that holds true for this palette as well. I think these mattes are stunning. They work so nicely, they blend out effortlessly. My only complaint with it, when you saw look number 2, where I did sort of more the warm, neutral kind of look, is that once buffed out and applied, these two shades here looked remarkably similar. So this is, the lighter one is South Beach, and then the darker shade over here, which looks a bit more terracotta based in the pan, that one is Aloha Beaches. This one looks a little bit more on the coral side, but I did find that when I was applying it and blending it out, there wasn't a marked distinction between them. When I did the swatches, you can definitely see the color difference between them, but once applied, it's not nearly as significant. Other than that, I really don't have any complaints about this. I think the addition of Buried Gold, this nice reflective champagne kind of color, is perfect because it's a beautiful lid shade, it's a beautiful inner corner and brow bone highlight. Like, it just works with any color combination that you do using this palette. The toppers, you know what, I'm not going to complain about them. I'm really not. I was concerned when I read that they were toppers that they might just be, if I can use the word like flimsy, I'm not sure what I mean, but that they weren't going to pack a punch, that they were going to be, you know, where you get like just a couple dabs of glitter everywhere and you really have to work to build them up. However, these pack a punch. They do. You can really build them up. What I did here, as you saw, was just put two of them on there, so I have the pink and the blue. They layer nicely with each other. I found once you're packing it on, it's not lifting up with the brush, and I appreciate that because some of them do. And it was just easy to build up the intensity of them. There was a lot of intensity to begin with, as you saw. I think the color selection for the glitters is on point. I was a little concerned at first that the silver was not really going to jive with the rest of the palette, because overall, like, there is a lot of warmth going on in this palette, but when you add it with these blues, I think it's just going to look beautiful. It reminds me sort of sunlight dancing on the back of like the water. and I think that's probably what they're going for here. So I really don't have any complaints. I'm trying to think of critiques that I could use. I think if they wanted to make it just that much more, sorry, I'm kicking the camera. If they wanted to make it that much more user-friendly, rather than glitter gel, just super foiled shadows would have been that much easier. It would have created a different look, I understand that, but I think it would have been that much easier to work with because you wouldn't have to worry about glitter glue and all of that kind of thing. Now, my recommendations, if you do pick this up, are to do your eyes before you do your face. I didn't notice a ton of kick up in the pan with the matte shadows. There was some, but nothing really noteworthy, nothing that, you know, made me think like, oh, I don't know about this. It was totally fine. It's on par with what I've experienced with other shadows and with Tarte shadows in the past. The shimmers, totally fine. However, especially with this look that I did, I think because I went in with a fluffier brush with this deep blue shimmer shade, it did create a lot of fallout, and I even had it all the way down to my chin. I also may have picked some up on my hand and transferred, so it may not entirely be the shadow's fault. But I did just want to give that caution that I think this would be easier to work with. Just do your face second rather than doing it first, because then if you do have any fallout, it's not going to be the pain in the butt that it was for me to clean up before I sat down to film this. So overall, I'm going to give them a good grade on this one. I'm happy with it. I really think the packaging is adorable. I hate the name, like I honest to God hate the name High Tides and Good Vibes. I think it's just too bulky, so ergo it is the turtle palette. I would like to see Tarte branch beyond the Rainforest of the Sea thing. That thing's been going strong for a few years now, and I'd like to see them open themselves up. Having said that though, Tarte sometimes takes an idea and runs a little too far with it, like the Let's Flamingo brush set that I'm never going to stop talking about. So I say that with an air of caution. So there you have it. That is all I'm going to say about the palette. I am very happy with it. I would like to see them continue going down this path of incorporating more bold colors into their palettes. Fingers are firmly crossed that this one is highly successful for them, and therefore they receive the positive encouragement that they need to do so. At any rate, I would love to hear from you guys down below if you picked it up, what your thoughts are. If you've seen it, what are your thoughts about buying it? Are you interested? Are you not? Whatever you want to talk about, feel free to put a comment down below. And with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next one. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.